Join Southwest Adventure Tours for a 7-day adventure visiting sites in Utah's Grand Staircase-Escalante National Monument. This includes hiking through numerous slot canyons, several colorful and lush canyons, and various fascinating geological attractions. Because there's no other way to see the attractions in the Grand Staircase, our Canyons of the Escalante Tour is a hiking forward tour that will have you out on the trail every single day. Sit back and enjoy this visual tour itinerary video that will give you an overview of where this tour goes and what the places we'll visit, plus the hikes we'll go on, all look like. You're looking at a map of Utah with its surrounding states. Here is where Grand Staircase-Escalante National Monument sits in south-central Utah. Grand Staircase-Escalante is a big national monument. It's so big that you can fit all of Utah's mighty 5 national parks into it and still have space left over. Our tour roughly covers the northern half of the monument, the area shaded yellow on the map. Our tour starts and ends in the city of St. George, over here. You can choose to fly into St. George Regional Airport, the Las Vegas Airport, or you can just drive here and keep your car parked at the Arrival Hotel because we'll return there. I'm now going to explain a daily breakdown of the tour. Day 1 is spent arriving in St. George and a stay at the included hotel this evening. If you arrive early, consider taking an urban hike to explore this charming and historic desert city. Another option is to visit nearby Snow Canyon State Park, which is 15 minutes away, or even Zion National Park, which is 45 minutes away. There are plenty of great dining options close to your hotel, too. When you book your tour, ask us for ideas on how to fill up this day and book nearby activities for you. We start off day 2 early with a 7 a.m. pickup in St. George, then drive 3 hours across the mountains to visit Kodachrome Basin State Park, which is just outside of Bryce Canyon National Park. Here we'll go on a short scenic drive to look at the collection of unique geologic formations found scattered around this area. This place was named by the National Geographic Society, who wrote an article on Kodachrome Basin that appeared in a 1949 issue of National Geographic magazine. The word Kodachrome came from the name of the Kodak film they used in their cameras back then that produced vibrant colors. Kodachrome became a state park in 1962. It was originally named Chimney Rock State Park, but after being granted permission by Kodak to use their trademarked film name, it was changed to Kodachrome Basin State Park. In the afternoon, we'll visit Grosvenor Arch, which was used often as the geologic mascot or symbol of Grand Staircase-Escalante National Monument. Then it's our first hike into a slot canyon, this one being Round Valley Draw. This slot requires a little bit of a scramble to get down into, but then it's an easy walk to explore its narrow and sculptured passageway. At the end of the day, we'll retrace our drive and go to Bryce Canyon City for a stay at the world-famous Ruby's Inn. Day 3 takes us to a very beautiful and user-friendly slot called Willis Creek Slot Canyon. This slot canyon is different than many others because the narrow sections last for about a quarter of a mile, then open up again. This allows more light to penetrate the narrows, making this canyon easier to photograph. After passing through several narrow sections, we'll continue hiking for another mile or 2 into a larger canyon with beautifully sculptured, textured, and colorful walls. When we've hiked down the canyon enough, we'll turn around and head back to the trailhead, following the same way we came in. We'll then continue up the road a few miles to our next slot canyon visit, Bull Valley Gorge. This canyon is a bit spookier and a little more challenging to get into. Bull Valley Gorge may not be as beautiful as Willis Creek, but it is much deeper, giving it a more adventurous feel. On day 4, we'll most likely get our feet wet because we're going to be hiking into the core of the national monument, Escalante Canyon. Here, we're going to hike through the colorful and lush canyon carved out by the Escalante River to visit Escalante National Bridge, some Native American ruins, Cliff House Arch, and several other arches within a few miles of the trailhead. Hiking here today will include several crossings of the Escalante River. You'll want to come prepared on this trip with footwear that you can submerge and still hike for several miles afterwards. If you'd like, we can help you with some suggestions on what to bring. This series of hikes may total up to 10 miles if you want to visit all of the features there are to see in this part of the Escalante. Today is mostly an off-highway adventure with several short hikes and one longer hike at the end of the day. Our road trip explores sites along the historic Hole-in-the-Rock Road, where Mormon pioneers trailblazed a route to settle southeast Utah and northern Arizona. We'll first visit Covered Wagon Bridge, which is actually a series of natural bridges and tunnels formed by a small stream. Then we'll visit close by Cedar Wash Arch and wonder why there's hundreds of small marbles scattered all around. Next, we'll visit and wander around Devil's Garden, which is a collection of curious geologic formations carved out of the area's sandstone. In that same sandstone, just a few miles away, we'll visit a site where dinosaurs from the Jurassic period left dozens of footprints. We'll see that those footprints were left behind from two different types of dinosaurs. After that, we'll head further down Hole-in-the-Rock Road to a series of slot canyons. This 4 to 5 mile round-trip hike will visit some very narrow slot canyons. On day 6, we head back to the Escalante River Canyon because our hike today takes us to the crown jewel of the National Monument, Calf Creek Falls. We'll start out early this morning to beat the crowds to this very popular hike. Our hike to Lower Calf Creek Falls will pass through yet another beautiful canyon, past some large Native American pictographs, and end at the spectacular waterfall. After the 6-mile round-trip hike to the falls, we'll stop into the unique Kiva Coffee House, which offers stunning views of the Escalante Canyon below, as well as a hearty lunch. Being refueled with lunch, we'll drive up the famous Hogback to the trailhead for our hike to Upper Calf Creek Falls. This more challenging hike to a smaller waterfall, also on Calf Creek, descends deep into the canyon below. You can choose to go on this 2-mile round-trip hike that has a 550-foot descent, and of course, you have to climb up that same distance to return back up. Or you can stay and enjoy the views from the trailhead above. On our last day, we hike our last slot, Bighorn Canyon. Unlike the other slots we've hiked on our trip, this one is very colorful. See our separate virtual video tour of what it's like to go on this hike. When we're done with Bighorn, it's back to St. George. We'll be back about 5 p.m. to the same hotel where we started. We suggest you arrange for traveling home the next day. See more details about this tour on our website at southwestadventuretours.com. Search or look for Canyons of the Escalante. When you explore and travel with Southwest Adventure Tours, adventure awaits.